I put this toolbox in the truck sometimes 2007 or 2008, so I've had it for a while. And one of the things I didn't want bolts going through the bottom directly to the underside of the truck, so I used those L brackets in 4 places to put them down. And the thought was that would keep water from infiltrating into it. It was a nice thought. If this bed gets full of snow, then the water does leak in through the holes in the 3 bolts on the side. But I want to go back to a more traditional box so I can get more bed space available. Then elephant in the room, yeah, I'll eventually take care of the tire going somewhere else too. 285/75 R16 does not fit under the bed in the stock spare tire carrier place. I suppose I could make that work, but I don't want to. I've got something else in mind. That's on a future video. Right now, I'm dealing with the toolbox. There's a small snapshot of the stuff I was keeping in there. Basic tools, a lot of recovery stuff, axe and shovel, tarp and net. By no means was this chest full. I had room to put other stuff in there as I wanted to, depending on what trip I was doing, going camping or whatever. I could put tents and sleeping bags and stuff in there. But I'm gonna do something a little more traditional. This worked. It worked for, well over, 15 years almost? So you can see there's signs of the water having been in there. Something oily spilled. I don't remember what. Could have been WD-40. To try to keep the water out, I just siliconed the heck out of those. And those. Well over a decade ago, what I don't remember is how I got to the bolts down there. There's a bracket. If I could put some light on it, it'd be awesome, but you can see with the space here, I don't have much space there. I put it pretty tight to the cab. I don't remember how I got to those bolts. There's 4 bolts going in the bed, 2 into the box. Ask my younger self why I did what I did and how I did it. Back then, I wasn't making videos. Would have been awesome if I had, because then I would have been able to see exactly what I did. That's one reason to make videos of what you're working on. Not just to help the other truck bros out, but to help the future you out. So I had to put a wrench on there, let it brace itself against the box, and then just zip it out from the bottom side. And that was the methodology there. These may be so old and so rusted, I may end up just pulling out an angle grinder and cutting them off. Half of me thinks that might just be faster to do that right now. I don't know how I got to those ones on the backside though. Might just cut them off from the bottom. These bolts are not worth saving. They're over, over a decade old. I may just do that. I may just save myself some time. I may just zip them off with an angle grinder. That, in fact, was much, much quicker. Little thin blade. I don't know, those are 1/8 inch, less than an 1/8 inch. And just slice off the bolts. You can get a punch and pound them through. And the ones up there on that bracket, I'm just gonna go under the truck and get those done. That shouldn't be too difficult, but it might be fun because the sparks everywhere. Doing things from the underside and going up always is less than fun. Oh, and sorry, not a lot of action shots because back when I used to do videos more often, I had a Canon camera, but it took a dump on me. Lens was all jacked up from sparks flying too anyhow, welding or grinding or cutting like this. So you're just getting what I'm doing when I'm doing it, but no action shots. Let me show you the after, basically. So it dawned on me, why go under? There's only 2 bolts right there. So now this whole thing's free. Don't know why I only did 2 bolts up front and 2 bolts on the back here, but then 6 on this side in the front. Passed me. Thing is though, it held. It held for a long, long while. So whatever I did was strong enough. All right, let's pull this thing out and let's look at the new box. So that's how I had it mounted back there. I think my decision process on that one is instead of wanting to cut it in half, I was like, let's just do one big long bar, bolt her down. Did I need 4 bolts? Maybe not. But I did it because my calculus was to put them at the 4 corners. And then I decided just to do that one at the front like that. I don't know why I didn't put another bolt in though. Generally, I'm giving you an idea of how you can mount a chest box to the floor of your bed like this. A lot of junk gets stuck under there. That's one of the things. Probably would have had a lot more rust than I did if I hadn't have done the bed in several coats of Durabac. And Durabac's okay, but it does eventually start doing this. I mean, even though you get the kind, and you see it all over, it's the different layers, and I've probably done 4 coats of this stuff in here. It is highly tractionable. Very, very rough feeling now. And they put UV, you can get the kind that has UV inhibitors or UV damage inhibitors. But even then, after decades, because I first did this bed back in probably 2005 or 6. But yeah, after decades of use, it does eventually deteriorate. It's nice for DIY because I just do it with a roller. And when it's new, it's nice and rubbery, so it's resilient. But it just doesn't last. That's my only complaint with it. And you can see, you can get colors because I did the bed rails in white for when I had a white capper. And I did the rest of the bed in gray because I like the whole white and gray motif. Well, yeah, let's clean this up. So I'm trying to drill out the bolt heads, but everything's so tight in there, I can't get centered on it. I probably should have used a center punch. 2 of them looked okay. Might try with this monster bit in just a second here. While I was in here, and since I'm about to put a toolbox over all of this, these corner drainage holes, I widened those out as well. Give me a lot better drainage because a lot of stuff, look how much leaves and detritus is here because when it was parked under trees, they get clogged up. They get clogged up pretty fast. So that way, and I'm not worried about things falling down in there, but that way it should drain a lot faster. May need to go under there and hit it with some rust inhibiting paint of some sort. But I'm gonna try one more time with this drill bit to get those bolt heads off. I'm trying to do everything I can without having to go under the truck. I just don't want to do that. I don't want stuff falling down on my face. It's never fun, but if I can just remove these bolts, they're gonna be too frozen. I wouldn't think they'd remove anyway. But otherwise I might just, this is aluminum, I might just slice right through it to get to the bolt heads. I don't think it will gum up that cutting wheel too bad, but I'm gonna see if this works. This drill bit's about the same size as those bolt heads. I've got pilot holes drilled in all of them, but I don't think this simple DeWalt drill kit is the right temper. I don't know what you call it. I don't think it's hard enough. I already broke one of them. And that one's sitting right there. But I don't know. Let's try again. All right, yeah. Angle grinder. Cutting through the front of it to get to the bolt heads. And then just popping them through the top with a punch. That was the fastest way. The drill. I mean, there's a part of me, the garage hoarder part of me, that says save that piece. There's a part of me that says I just want to get this done in an hour or 2. I don't want to spend all afternoon doing this. My wife knows the joke and she laughs at it a lot. You're only one broken bolt away from a 10-minute project becoming all day. And if I can just cut these off because they're all sacrificial, then I'm there. And I now have. So there it is, a Lund gull wing. When you've got a truck that's even slightly lifted like mine is, this makes so much more sense. My Nerf bars, I can step up onto here, be able to access it from right here, instead of having to get in the bed. They didn't give me enough hardware. There's 2 carriage bolts. Not enough. Good thing I come with my own hardware. Hey, check this out. Screwdriver holder. That's fun. But yeah, this one's from Lund. They are one of the better ones. I mean, you can, which one is it? Weather Tight or one of the other ones that's even more expensive? Well, it's funny to me. Talks about what it's supposed to come with. It's not in here. It's not in there either. But there's these 2 foam strips. If you were putting this on a painted surface, then yeah, you definitely want them. I may still use them. Just stick them down here and do what I need to do. But when you've got bed liner capping your rails, you may not worry about it. You can see outlines of where my old box was. All right, I think I will stick these down, and then we're gonna see if I know how to pull a tape like I think I do, because this should be just like 1/2 inch within tolerances of what this bed is. Funny thing is, the dimension here to the dimension at the end of the bed. The end of the bed shrinks by almost an inch, like 3/4 of an inch. So it does curve in, which, you know, it's a 90s truck that was all rounded and aerodynamic and everything. As aerodynamic as a pickup truck can be. All right, let's get to it. This side was having a hard time staying closed. It's pretty simple. It's not engaging the latch enough. So you just loosen up those ones, push it that way. And then I got to tighten them back up. I got them about where it does, where now it will latch close. But these things can rattle loose sometimes. And so you just have to adjust them that way. That's, okay, cool. They welded this one in. The one on the old chest box wasn't as neatly done. They did a lot of welding in here, which makes it nicer. Again, it's Lund, it's supposed to be one of the best brands there is. I don't know if this is gonna seal it as much as I'd like, but it should do enough. It's funny. They tell you right there how to adjust the lid closure. But yeah, that should make it. And it's all the same Eberhard lock set. So I might go look and see where I can get a set of cylinders for that so they match, because I doubt these match. I haven't checked, but I doubt they do. Yeah, adjust that, tighten it back down, get it to latch. Not too hard. Okay, so that's a nice touch. It does. So the keys were just hanging up there on there. I just pulled them off, but all 4 of these keys work on both sets. They did match the sets, that's a nice touch. Thank you, Lund, for that. Cheaper ones might not do that. You might just throw a lock cylinder, put the keys in, call it good. I like that. Nice thing about aluminum boxes is they're light and easy to maneuver by one person. My tape measures were good because I'm about 3/4 inch to an inch on each side. So the clearance is good there. I am gonna leave the rail. You could kick it all the way through. I'm gonna leave that there because I intend to build something like unto a headache rack for this truck eventually. So now, it's simply bolting it down to the rails. Side quest, the Army and me would get in big trouble for having tools this rusty. Rust-Oleum time. I know the first time you use them, it takes them off, but at least you keep them from getting too bad, just spritzing them with some Rust-Oleum every once in a while. So I hit them with a little bit of a wire brush. I'm not really trying to clean them all the way up. Otherwise, I take out a wire cup on on my angle grinder, but no, just enough to cover them up, keep them from getting too rusty. Till the next time they gotta get used. So never mind what their sheet says hardware should come with, J-bolts and all kinds of fun stuff like that. It didn't come with nothing but 2 carriage bolts and some nuts and washers for those. They didn't give me enough, so I'm gonna do my own. Got some, just what I have on hand, some grade 8 with a 1/2 inch nuts and bolts. Use this one for inside. Use a big long reach tool to get underneath there. Should be fun. I haven't installed one of these ones in, oh goodness, it's been 21 years since I installed one of these things. Yay. Reaching all the way back there, that washer will not stay on there because none of this is magnetic. So a little bit of T-Rex tape. Should be able to get to where I can see it, get it started and get it in there. I do want a washer on the bottom so that I need to distribute the load a little bit. Certainly don't want a nut pulling through the hole. I want the stuff to be solid because I do take this truck off-road. Let's see if I can get her. Ended up going no extensions. This big bar has been funnily useful. It's meant for undoing the tensioner pulley on your belt assembly on your engine, but it's been great for a lot of different things. Yeah, got her in. Just have a light down here so I can see down there when I've got the washer and nut in the right place, and then just zip her down. So it's working out. That's one side done. Let's get the other side done. I'm going slower than I probably should, just because I'm in the garage, I'm relaxing, I'm building, I'm fixing stuff on my truck that's bothered me for a while. This is me relaxing. I'm not at work. I'll go to work tonight. These days in life, it seems like I don't get enough time to work on my truck like I would like. But yeah, having fun. All right, there it is. Still got a ton of room. I like this with those little shelves right there. Then I can put the ratchet straps, 2 on each side of the truck. Nice and easy to find, nice and easy to put away. Toe straps, tools, all that kind of stuff over there. Jacks come along, clevises, all that stuff in there. Still got room. So let's see if those are dry. and we'll shove them back in there and get the tarp and straps down in there, the spider web netting, that thing. See if we can't get this all back in there. All right, there we go. New toolbox. And this one definitely fills the space. If I was really good, I'd remember the number of it. Maybe it's on the sticker over there, or the shipping stuff. But generally speaking, with your truck, go look up their specs, do the measuring tape, figure out what size fits your truck. Installation generally the same for just about any truck, because you're just drilling through and bolting into those side rails. Are these things thief-proof? No, they're aluminum. Someone with enough determination and a good crowbar can get through them. But it's enough just to keep your stuff secure out of the weather and just to keep the honest. Now we don't just have everything all floating around in the back of the bed. Now it's neat, organized, out of the weather. All right, you come this far, appreciate you watching. We'll catch you on the next one.